Okay. So what is your expectation? My expectation, I don't have anything like I want to become a whatever the work which are going to be assigned or which are going to be allocated to the team members and handling the team members are also fine, and individual contributors also fine, but whatever the work, it has to be useful in my aspiration is to become a multi-cloud architect. Maybe as discussed with the recruiter, it will be .NET architect related kind of stuff. That's what I heard that one. Maybe the recruiters don't know the complete information. You can guide me and I can able to uh, yeah. And this interview will be as a developer only. Okay. So let's just start. Okay. .NET Core. Okay. So tell me what is dependency injection and with the example you can explain. Yeah. Dependency injection is a concept of usually I want to create an object. As a developer, I want to create a manual whenever it is needed. The dependency injection will give us an inversion of control. You don't want to create an object and I can take care of object, we can pass as a type. The dependency injection is having the life cycle of register, request, register, and resolve. Those things can be taken care by the any of the framework. It is a .NET Core or Unity or different that third party tools are also will available to achieve our goals. The dependency injection will help us whenever you need it as a particular object. You don't need to bother about how to create an object, how to destroy an object, how to maintain the life cycle of an object. Dependency injection will take care of all the concepts, and we can use that tool, and it will be taken care of whether it is a constructor level or method level or property level based on our requirement in .NET framework or .NET Core. The concepts are different, but the background idea is the same. Okay. And what is the purpose of the startup class? Startup class is an entry point of an application. It will define as what is the what is the controller. It's a kind of an entry point which will hit that first, and it will try to call that program.cs, and there we have that in the startup class. We have the configure services, and configure services, it can be used for dependency injection in all the controller and action methods, and configure which will use to inject that which will use to handle the middlewares, whether we can go ahead with the next piece of middlewares or we can stop that current piece of middleware. Based on, it's a kind of extension based programming. If you find of an extension of ABC, the middleware will be there, it will be handled, and it will be going to the next piece of middleware. Otherwise, it will return from the terminate the circuit breaker. Okay, fine. Can we create our custom middleware? Yeah, we can create our custom middleware, but we have to follow some steps. We have to do that. We have to create a middleware is a kind of request delegate. We have to declare a request delegate, and we have to pass as an HTTP context in constructor, and we have to call the invoke method. We have to override the invoke method, and we need to process as a request delegate of next method if you want to pass to the next piece of middleware. If everything goes well, otherwise it can terminate from here itself. How we can manage authentication and authorization? Yeah. In our case, we have used as a JWT token, and I have the basically it will create a token at the time of authentication. We will check as username, password, and whatever the information is required for a particular validation. We can create a token and we can give as a refresh token. The token will be going to be validate each and every request by using the HTTP request header, and whenever it is getting expired, we have the refresh token. Refresh token will try to generate the new access token and the new refresh token. We are using identity server for to work with this kind of authentication and authorization. And in my previous project, we have used OAuth 2 OpenID Connect and OAuth 2 authorization code for This will be useful for multiple steps for accessing the authentication code, getting that authorization code, and passing that authorization code and getting that request token. There are the multiple steps are involved there. Based on our requirement, based on the security of an application, we can go ahead and use that security mechanisms. Okay. What is HTTP POP? HTTP POPs basically it's a kind of identification of a particular request, whether it is in how the information has to be passed in a request, whether it is in a get, we have to pass in the parameters. If it is a post, it has to be passed a body. If it is a put, patch, like that. Each HTTP POP is having their own meaning. For example, whenever we want to get the data from database or a particular endpoint, definitely we will try to use the get. Get will expect it will give us an input and it will get the data. Based on our requirement, we can go ahead with the use of webs. Okay. Can you tell me what is the difference between put and patch? Yeah, put will try to update of all the information, and patch will not update of all the information. Whatever the information which we received. For example, I have the 20 properties in a particular table. In a put, it will update of entire information, even though if it is there or not there. And patch, it won't. Whatever the informations are there, it will be try to update that fields itself. We have to do some kind of coding to achieve that one. It will default not updating of whatever the information which we are passing. We have to check that values and we have to do that some coding to make that has to be happen in the patch. Okay, fine. What is the difference between constant and read only? Yeah, constant is I can say read only is a class level constant and read only. Yeah, both are we can't change those values at compile time. Constant values I didn't remember exactly. I know the differences. Okay. What is extension method? Extension method allows us to create our own method, but it will behave like as an existing method which was there in a library. For example, I have the string class is there. There are some of the methods are there in a string class, two upper, two lower. I want to create my own method. I want to use that method in all over the places whenever we are using the string class. Then we have to create our own extension method, which will we have to follow the some steps to make that extension method. Then only we can able to achieve as a we can use that method as a predefined library. It does not need of existing DLL has to be rebuilt and recompiled. It will act as an existing method, but it is not an existing method, which is an extension method. Okay. Can you please share your screen to write extension method? Okay. So we have a scenario here. We have a user model okay, that contains a property called date of birth, and we want to create an extension method to calculate age of the user. Okay, no need to write complete value. That's enough. Now call that extension. How we are going to call that? Okay, this is the string that string it up. Here is, and we need to pass that is. Okay, so now explain what you have done. Yeah, this is the static class, and in the static class we have a static method, and this is the parameter. This parameter will define us whether it is extension method or normal method of a particular class. This is the it should be a static class, and it should be a static method, and the first parameter of this method is the type of whatever the extension method. It will take as an input from here, and it will do that logic, and it will return the value as an int. Okay, requirement was to create the extension method for user model, right? Calculate the age. Calculate the age of the user. Okay. Right. Requirement was calculate the age of the user, and you are only taking a string and doing computation. Okay. Is this fulfilling the requirement? No, it will not fulfill the requirement. It will pass that only particular property. Here we are expecting is we have to pass as a user model. Yeah. Okay. That user model. This of the string user model, user, and the user model that get age. With the logic is that this is the user defined data type, user, and logic, user model, the extension rate. Okay. So now for the calling side, how we will call? We will call with the class name or how we will? My extension dot is it is a user model. Okay. Sound. What is constructor overloading? Constructor overloading is the concept of I want to overlay over the same constructor name. It has to be different parameters. For example, constructor name might be same. If I want to initialize the parameters for based on our requirement, I can provide that same constructor, different constructor with a different kind of parameter. It can be we can able to call that based on our requirement initialization. Okay. In entity framework, we have a method called any. Okay. What is the purpose of that? Any method, any is in delegate, which will return as a true or false. It won't check all the conditions. For example, if we define any one of the case is false of a given expression, it will return as a delegate as a false. Okay. What is the difference between first default and single? Yeah, first default it will not throw exception if the collection is an empty. Singular default it will throw exception. That is only the major difference. But both are working as the same. The collection is having the values. What is the difference between IQueryable and IEnumerable? IEnumerable is a kind of in-memory operations. Basically, it will perform whenever we are performing any where condition or filtering is happening on a collection. It won't go to the database. it will all operation will perform in memory. iQueryable, it is a live connection with the databases. Whenever we want to perform any of the operations or links or filtering and sorting and searching, all the things, it has to be go to the database and it will get the data. Whenever it's a kind of requirement, based on our requirement, we can use the enumerable or iCueryable. It's the basic the differences, the namespaces are different, and we can use with the performance which one is the better, and we can use with the live data which one we will use, like that. It will use it. Okay. In Azure, what is Key Vault? Key Vault is a kind of one a small storage which we can save our secrets in terms of some encoding, and we will save those information as a we can save as a we can key and value pair also we can save, and we can save as secrets as a separately. It's a kind of the small storage which we can use to store our secrets, and whenever we need, we will get the values from the secret. We can pass the value and we can get the secret, and we can use it in all the services. Okay, fine. What is table variable in SQL? A table variable which will use table variable is a kind of temp table I know, table variable also I know, but the question exactly I did not get you. What is the use of table variable, or what is the table variable? What is the table variable? Table variable is a kind of storing that the query as a in memory. It will try to get the data, and we can't perform any of the operation, DML operation, on a table variable. Okay. It's a kind of the view, but it is not a completely view. It will try to get the data, live data of a particular table whenever it is required. Okay, fine. How can I execute recursion query in SQL? By using CTEs, we can do that one, and we have to follow the some syntax, CTE and CTE name, and we have the body and expression, and in the body we can call that same CTE as a variable, and it will call based on our requirement. What is view? What is a view? View is a kind of temporary storage of a particular query. It will store the query, it will not store the data. Okay. Can I create a view without any table? Without any table? Yeah, we can create a view by using select star from get etc. Select select get etc. days, like that we can create. There is not, it's not a mandatory. Is a table has to be defined, but I haven't tried. Okay. What is index? Index are is a kind of the pointers where the data is located. Based on the indexes, the SQL engine will try to identify what is the block of the data is saved. Based on the index, it is trying to get the data as a faster way. What is constraint? Constraints is a set of rules to apply a particular data or to while saving the data into the table. Based on the constraint, we can make the consistent data instead of inconsistent. We can apply some rules. It has to be some minimum length and maximum length characters and all the things. Okay. Fine. Let's suppose I have a table. Use a table. And let me see. So you can see on the chat box. Okay. So this is our table, and I want to restrict the insertion whenever user ID's value in between 10 to 20. Okay. You can see user ID. There is a value 1, 2, 3, and so on. If user ID's value Yeah, we need to for example, this is like alter table name user, add constraint name, uh, constraint name on column name. For example, column name is user ID, and we need to specify the condition. User ID is greater than 2, should not insert like that. What constraint this is? What kind of constraint? Check constraint. Fine. Okay. Now I have shared with you another table. That is location. Okay. So now you can see user and location both are connected to the location ID. Okay. Right. And in the location table, you can see we have a column active. Okay. That is containing value 110. Right. So 0 is denoting the active record. Okay. And 1 is denoting active record. Right. What I want all the users, all the records from user table with their location name. Okay. But location name should be active. Okay. Please write down the this. Okay. We make sure we return all the users. Only active users, right? No. All the users. Okay. All the users with their location name. But location name should be. First time dealing with the user. U1. Yes. Yes. And location. Here. User name and location. I'm not needed particular columns. Okay. You are using inner join, right? Yeah. So how many records this will return? It will return 3 records. 3 records. Yeah. But what about the inactive location name? We don't have that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You don't need inactive location name. But okay. How many records this will return? This will return only 2 records. The user table has 3 records and we want all of them. User table 3 records, but the location records. Okay, we can go ahead with the left outer join. Left outer. All the records from left side table user will match only the left side table, and it will give as a null if it has a location does not match. Okay, and this will also return only 2 records. This will return, left outer join will return all the records from this table, and it will return all the 3. It's not 2. Okay, you can check later. This will return 2 records. Okay. Okay, sorry. This condition has to be removed. Okay, and now this will return the inactive location name also. Yeah. So, but we don't want that. Okay, fine. Okay. Fine. It was nice talking to you. And yeah, sure. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Bye.